This is SkiAddiction.com riding with Dave Wheel and Brendan Reed. Once you get the basics down on jumps, you'll naturally want to start to push yourself and start learning bigger spins. In this vid, you'll learn how to grab your spins and how to do 540s and 720s. Before doing this, you want to make sure you're very comfortable skiing switch, hitting large jumps, and spinning 180s and 360s. Grabbing spins. Adding a grab to your spins is a great way to mix it up and improve your style. Start by trying a tuck air 360. Pop off the lip, and once you're about halfway around, bring your knees up to your chest and your hands down beside your feet. Keep your head looking around until you spot your landing, then stomp and ride away. Once you get comfortable being in this compact body position in the air, try going for some grabs. Easy ones to start with are safety, mute, and Japan because you grab near your boots. Once you get these grabs down, you can start experimenting with harder ones like tail, nose, high mute, double grabs, and anything else you can think of. When grabbing, you can use either your left or right hand. It's usually more comfortable to grab with your right hand when spinning left and your left hand when spinning right. You can grab with your left hand when spinning left or your right hand when spinning right, but it's called a leading grab and it's just another way to mix things up. When grabbing spins, it's very important to be patient. Don't try to go for the grab too early. A good rule of thumb is wait until you're about halfway through your trick before going for the grab. This way you have time to focus on setting the trick properly, which is very important. If you bend over and go for the grab too early, it can throw off your body position and make the trick not work out the way you want to. By focusing on having a solid pop and a good set, you're much more likely to have the trick work out the way you want. Bigger spins. The key techniques to work on for spinning 5s and 7s are edging, wind up, popping, timing, and spotting your landing. Find a large park jump that you feel comfortable with. Anything 20 feet or bigger should work well. Bigger jumps are more intimidating, but they also give you more time to get larger rotations around. Get familiar with the jump first by doing some straight airs, 180s, and 360s so you can feel out the landing for both forwards and switch. When you're trying your first 5s and 7s, don't worry about trying to do any grabs with them. Just keep your body nice and tall and focus on staying balanced. Once you're comfortable with getting the rotation around and you're stomping them consistently, you can work up to adding grabs. Edging. The set for 5s and 7s is the same as for a 360. Use your edges on the way up the lip to grip the snow so you can push off from to create momentum for the spin. You can do this by either approaching the jump straight or carving up the lip. When approaching straight, use a wide stance which will naturally position your weight on your inside edges, giving you extra grip to push from. When carving in, your line of entry comes into play. You need to do a setup carve first so you can carve in and still be going straight when you go off the lip. Whether you choose to approach straight or by carving off the lip is personal preference. It just comes down to style and mixing up your tricks. It's definitely good for your skiing to be able to do both. Wind up. At the bottom of the takeoff, wind up your arms and shoulders by twisting them in the opposite direction. As you go up the lip, start to release your wind up to create momentum for your spin. This is just like what you do for 360s, but the bigger you want to spin, the more you have to wind up. Popping. A strong pop helps you to spin faster and smoother and makes your tricks look better. Time your pop so that your legs are fully extended right when you leave the lip. Keep your skis parallel and pointing forwards when you're leaving the jump. Avoid starting to spin too early with your skis turning on the jump. This is a dangerous habit to get into as you can catch an edge on the takeoff. As you pop off the lip, keep your head up and looking over your shoulder. It's common to look down when you're learning to spin, but this will throw you off balance and make it harder to land. Timing. Bigger spins require better timing and more precision. As you leave the lip of the jump, your rotation starts with your arms and shoulders and then follows through with your hips and lower body. 720 is twice the amount of spin of a 360, so the amount of tension you need to create on this lip is twice as much. No matter how many times you watch this video, eventually you're going to have to go out and try it for yourself. Just make sure you practice a lot of 360s before trying any 5s or 7s and really get your timing dialed in. 540s. When spinning 5s, you have a lot of time to spot your landing. It'll come into view around 270 and you'll be able to keep your eyes locked on the landing for the whole second half of the spin. You'll spot a 540 in the same place as when you spot a 360. Then, keep your eyes on the landing as your body keeps rotating around to face back up the hill. As you land, your head will be looking over the opposite shoulder as the direction you're spinning, which will help stop your rotation at 540 and not keep going to 7. Land with your feet about shoulder width apart and flex your hips, knees, and ankles to absorb the impact. Keep riding out switch till you're in control and well past the jump. 720s. Even though a 720 is just 180 degrees more than a 540, getting comfortable stomping 7s is a huge step. When you find it easy to spin a full 540 and stomp every time, you're ready to push yourself and try some 7s. Halfway through the spin at 360, you'll briefly see the landing. Take a quick look at it here, but it's very important to keep your head up and looking over your shoulder. If you look at the landing for too long, it'll slow down or stop the spin. Keeping your head looking up and over your shoulder will help you keep rotating and get the full 720. At about 630, you'll be able to see the landing again, and then you'll come around and land just like you would for a 360. Once you can see the landing, you know you have the right amount of rotation. If you don't have quite enough rotation, you can use counter rotation to get your skis around for the last little bit. Or if you have too much, you can open up or spread out your arms and legs to slow down your spin. When learning 7s, keep focusing on the basics. It's easy to think too much about winding up and spinning hard, and you forget the basics like keeping your weight forward and popping off your toes. If you find yourself landing back seat, try focusing on keeping your weight more forward over your toes and keeping your head up and over your shoulder as you spin. These are the two most common things that people have trouble with when spinning 7s. Summary. Learning bigger spins such as 5s and 7s takes a considerable amount of coordination. At this stage, you're now becoming a strong free skier. When you're comfortable with 5s and 7s, you can step up to bigger jumps, play around with adding some grabs and shifties, and move on to harder tricks like 9s and cork spins.
This is SkiAddiction.com with Dave Wheel and friends.